Michael Condon is paralyzed from the neck down.
Fast.
At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, he is testing a
Train.
wheelchair that can understand human speech.
Train. Out.
Aided by Larry Tews, he first
In.
trains the device to recognize his
Raise.
voice.
Lower. Turn.
A mini-computer
Wait.
matches his particular speech patterns
Back.
to a set of 35 commands.
Tilt. Right turn. Left turn. End.
Okay, it looks like it's trained all right now. Why don't we see if we can work with the cup?
Close.
Mounted on the wheelchair is an arm which can manipulate objects within a range
Clamp.
of several feet.
Clamp. Raise. Clamp.
This is
Clamp.
one of the first practical applications in which an intelligent computer can imitate and even replace human
Turn.
functions.
Back.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that we just took a 2+ month hiatus and we're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen? All right, back again. We're back. A lot of changes have happened. A lot of changes have been going on in the world of AI. AI can now read your mind. All right.
Here are the volunteers, and the volunteers were asked to watch a movie clip without audio, and this is what the AI described. You're seeing it right there, actual stimulus, and they described, I see a girl that looks just like me get hit on her back, and then she is knocked off, end quote. The eyes saw it, the brain processed it, and the AI typed out what they were thinking. I'm still trying to figure out how that would even work.
So apparently, AI is basically reading the brainwaves, and it's kind of like how you see written audio. It just is like a record player. It's just jotting that stuff down. And the crazy part about it is that means sooner or later, guys, probably within the year, because how fast this is going, we might be able to have AI decode our dreams. How cool is that? All right, but you might say, oh, JVP, see, visuals are cool and everything, right? But I need sound. I can't be watching this as an old video. I need to actually be enticed with actual audio. Yeah, I can't do that. You see, that's where you're wrong, right? Check this out.
In this experiment, they got a group of people and they played a Pink Floyd song to them. Here is what they played. You might recognize this song.
All in all it was just a brick in the wall. All in all it was.
And then they scanned the brainwaves of the people listening to the Pink Floyd song. Now here's the actual recording of what the AI produced after it decoded these brainwaves.
Now, is this a perfect copy? No, of course not. It's not. It's mushy. You can barely hear the song. But it is there. Like, AI is reading it. The tones are there. You can vaguely recognize it. And seeing how fast AI improves, give it a little bit and it will be making a perfect copy of it, which might be even better than the original. If we have the ability to grab the audio and the visual from our dreams and then play them back, holy crap. Which gotta be a whole different thing, because I think Inception covered it perfectly, where your dreams operate at a different time scale than reality. So who even knows how we can even begin to attack that problem right there. But hey, maybe AI might help us in that direction too. I don't know, this is crazy. We're speaking in pure fantasy realm right now. Now let's bring this back to our boy Michael from the beginning and how he has to speak commands into the module to be able to make a move. Fast forward to now, 2023, he doesn't have to speak anymore. He just thinks. Integration back into society will not be awkward. He will blend in just fine. Now, let's get to the scary part about this, because I've been holding off. I wanted to hit good, right? And now we have to go to the not so good. Yeah. How do you let intrusive thoughts win? How do you let intrusive thoughts not win? Well, I heard somewhere that creatives have like 5 different lines of thoughts going on. And I guess we're at the mercy of whatever is the strongest one is what AI will follow. And let's say, is there a way to back out of that thought as you're thinking it? What? What kind of conversation even is this? No, seriously, this got me thinking, right? I'm Michael, right? I'm in a wheelchair and I got my device doing. It's doing what I'm thinking, right? And I see a hottie in a sundress, and she goes by, and the wind blows, and obviously she bends over to pick up something that she drops, and the wind hits the cheeks just right. This has nothing to do with the conversation? Damn right it does. We're talking about thoughts. We're talking about thinking thoughts here, all right? All right, where was I? All right, yeah, so the wind presses up against the sundress, right? And you get the full, silhouette action of the cheek. I'm slapping her, right? Wait, hold a second. See, there's some irony to this, right? Because I'm being censored. But at the same time, with AI, there's not going to be a sensory going on there. Like, someone's getting called, HR's getting called, cops getting called, and you're going to blame AI? Well, I guess maybe you could. Who knows?
The results of the first few experiments in artificial intelligence surprised everyone because it turned out that relatively small programs were able to do things that everybody had thought would require a lot more intelligence.
Stanford University's Terry Winograd wrote a program to converse in everyday English.
This is a program that I wrote in order to experiment with language understanding by computer. What I wanted is a world which the computer could talk about, so that while it was understanding sentences, it would actually be doing something with what was being said.
All right, so what kind of world did that look like? We have an AI that's basically able to perceive the space around it, and within that space, be able to perform operations. Now, the only way this makes any kind of sense of being useful to us is if you don't give the AI any type of information. It has to procure the space of operation by itself, and then with that knowledge that it has procured, operate the task at hand. Now you may say, oh, JBP, how is it gonna be able to grab that information? Hate to say this, but all of us have our doors wide open in the sense of radio waves and data. And this is how AI sees, how they can have a window to see in.
So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation. Right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
You can see there's a set of objects, some simple toy blocks and pyramids and a box and a kind of a hand that can move them around. Let me give it a simple command. I can type pick up a big red block, and the sentence appears, you can see, and it analyzes what it is that I'm asking, and then plans a sequence of commands to carry it out.
The program has no intrinsic knowledge about the blocks world, so Terry Winograd has filled its knowledge base with facts about the objects it contains, their properties, and their relationships to each other.
Hey, on the upside, I guess we're gonna have to start getting Wi-Fi shielding around our houses now to make sure that we're safe, or more so that you have your privacy. That's really my main concern. See, hot topic. I believe we can have a world where we can have this insanely invasive technology, right? But also have the means to push against it and to block out some of his vision. Also, please don't get it twisted. The military had access to this type of technology as far as being able to see through rooms using radio waves that are in there for the longest time. So that's not really the issue. The main issue is just that I guess the average person having an AI on their phone that can be able to basically scan into a room. I already have my ancestors, all right? They looking down on me and they judge me intensively for all of the intrusive thoughts I have, all right? I don't need to have the average Joe Smo down the street doing the same. Okay, so I do want to end this on a positive note because even though we pointed out some things that are very alarming, there is some great good that can come from this. Like, for example, say if someone had a similar condition that Stephen Hawking had. What if someone is stuck in their mind and they're not able to communicate their ideals outward? What if we had a way for them to be able to communicate with us? There's probably many geniuses that are actually stuck in their heads, and this AI approach towards reading brainwaves gives us a channel to actually speak to them and for us to relay information back and forth. How would that type of reality look like for us?
Real quick, would you mind putting the entire knowledge of the unknown universe into my head?
I'm kidding. God damn, I'm kidding. All right, for this time. Although I wish it was that easy, right? Just download it to your mind.
The device is an electrocorticography grid, which is attached to a pedestal, which is screwed onto the participant's skull. Anne is the very first person to have this combination.
On the screen, you'll see decoded text, speech, and avatar.
When Anne was 30 years old, she had a stroke, which led to locked-in syndrome.
Hey Anne, how's it going?
It is good to see you.
That's the first time we've ever had a conversation using this system.
If you are able to produce text, synthesize speech, and then also a personalized avatar, she believes that would really advance her ability to become a counselor and to work with people.
I thought it would be good for me.
How can we create technology that can help people really meaningfully contribute with all sorts of abilities?
Anything is possible.
That's it. Men love women. But even more than that, men love cars.